You're one of Charles Ponzi's eager investors, 1920, Boston. You clutch your week's savings as you step into his buzzing office. His charm is magnetic, his promises irresistible. Quick returns, no risk, guaranteed success. You walk out smiling, dreaming of a better life. Weeks later, the newspapers explode with headlines. Ponzi's empire collapses. You rush back, but the doors are locked, the crowd's angry, the money gone. You stare at your empty hands and realize the truth. It wasn't just Ponzi who fooled you. It was your own belief that this time the dream was real. Now fast forward a century, same greed, different interface. You're no longer in a smoky office. You're behind a glowing screen, signing a smart contract. No handshakes, no paperwork, just lines of code. The promises are the same. Guaranteed yield, community-driven, DeFi revolution. But when the chart crashes and the liquidity vanishes overnight, who's holding the empty bag? You or the blockchain? So what really separates a DeFi rug pull from an old-school Ponzi scheme? Is it technology or psychology? Code or confidence? If you've ever wondered how scammers keep reinventing the same old con with a digital twist, smash that like button, subscribe, and stay till the end, because today we're diving deep into the mechanics of modern deception and how you can finally stop pulling the rug on yourself.
On the left, you see it, the classic Ponzi pyramid, rows of people stacked like building blocks, each paying the one above. On the right, a DeFi liquidity pool, pulsing with digital tokens and animated yield percentages. Two different worlds, one built on paperwork, the other on code. But here's the question, do they run on the same engine? Let's start simple. A Ponzi scheme works like this. Old investors get paid with the money from new investors. There's no real profit, just recycling cash until the music stops. Now, a DeFi rug pull. It's a smart contract, code that's supposed to manage your funds automatically, except sometimes the code is the trap. When the anonymous developer drains the pool and disappears, the result feels eerily familiar. Think about recent headlines. According to The Guardian, there's a surge in the loss of UK savings as fake crypto tops the list of investment scams. It's the digital echo of Charles Ponzi's 1920 Boston victims, ordinary people chasing extraordinary returns. Different century, same emotional wiring. And that's what ties them together. Belief. Belief in systems we don't fully understand. Belief that technology, this time, makes it safer. But when a code exploit replaces a forged receipt, is the promise really any different? So what separates innovation from illusion? Regulation, transparency, or maybe personal responsibility? As we zoom out, both structures begin to crumble, the pyramid collapsing under weight, the pool draining to zero. And that's where we transition into the core differences: trust versus code, money flow, and the psychology that keeps both scams alive. Because before we can protect ourselves from rug pulls, we have to understand why we keep falling for them.
Let's rewind a century. It's 1920 in Boston, and a smooth-talking Italian immigrant named Charles Ponzi promises investors a simple deal. Give him money and he'll double it in months using international postal coupons. Sounds clever, right? But there's a catch. The profits weren't real. Ponzi was simply paying old investors with the cash from new ones. When the flow of new money dried up, the entire illusion collapsed, and so did thousands of dreams. Fast forward 100 years, and the pitch has gone digital. Today, we call them DeFi rug pulls, scams hidden inside smart contracts. A flashy new project launches on Twitter or Telegram promising guaranteed yields or next-gen DeFi utility. Influencers post memes, Telegram groups explode with hype, and before you can blink, the anonymous founders vanish, draining the entire liquidity pool. Billions gone. Sound familiar? It should. Both rely on the same human weakness, trust fueled by greed and fear of missing out. Whether it's a smiling man in a suit or an anime avatar behind a crypto wallet, the story hasn't changed, just the medium. So how can you tell one from the other? What makes a Ponzi scheme tick differently from a DeFi rug pull? Let's break it down the core differences between trust and code, money flow, and the psychology behind them.
Let's start with the first major difference, trust versus code. In the world of Ponzi schemes, everything revolves around human trust. You're not investing in a system, you're investing in a person. Someone who looks you in the eye, shakes your hand, and tells you your money is safe with me. That's how Charles Ponzi did it in the 1920s, and that's how Bernie Madoff fooled Wall Street decades later. The illusion worked because people wanted to believe. They saw the nice suits, the offices, the returns, and thought, this guy must know something I don't. Now, fast forward to the DeFi era. Here, you're told you don't have to trust a person, just trust the code. Smart contracts on the blockchain handle your funds automatically. No middleman, no bank, no shady broker. Sounds perfect, right? After all, code doesn't lie. But here's the uncomfortable truth. People write that code. And if those developers are anonymous, the code is unaudited, or there's a hidden back door, your money isn't safe. It's sitting on a trapdoor.
Remember the Squid Game token rug pull in 2021? Over $3 million vanished as the anonymous team drained liquidity and disappeared. Investors couldn't sell, couldn't withdraw, just watched as the charts flatlined. So while Ponzi schemes manipulate emotional trust, DeFi rug pulls manipulate technical trust. Both prey on faith, one in people, the other in technology. But there's a deeper layer here, how the money actually moves in these two systems. In one, funds circulate like a revolving door. In the other, they vanish in seconds through smart contracts.
Now let's talk about the second big difference, the flow of money. In a Ponzi scheme, money moves in a straight line, from new investors to old ones. There's no real business, no product, no profit, just a constant recycling of cash. Think of it like filling a leaky bucket. As long as new water, or investors, keeps pouring in, it looks full, but once the flow stops, everything drains. That's exactly how Bernie Madoff's empire fell apart in 2008. When investors stopped adding money, there was nothing left to pay out. DeFi rug pulls, though, are faster and more technical. Instead of money moving through people, it moves through code. You deposit funds into a liquidity pool, expecting rewards, and suddenly, poof, the developers drain the smart contract and disappear. Remember the Anubis DAO rug pull in 2021? $60 million vanished overnight. No human middleman, just a cleverly written contract that allowed total withdrawal. So while Ponzi schemes bleed slowly, rug pulls implode instantly. One dies from exhaustion, the other from betrayal. But what makes people fall for both again and again? The answer isn't in the charts or code, it's in human psychology.
Let's get to the heart of it, the psychology behind DeFi rug pulls and the powerful illusion of control. In traditional Ponzi schemes, the psychology is simple. People are seduced by trust and authority. They believe the man in the suit, the office with glass walls, the promise that your money is working for you. It's old-school deception built on social proof and reputation. But DeFi scams are far more sophisticated. They don't just sell you trust, they sell you control. You're told you own your keys, your wallet, your assets. You see your tokens, your dashboard, your rewards increasing in real time. It feels empowering, doesn't it? Like you're finally in charge of your financial destiny. But that's the trap. It's the illusion of control. Because while you think you're in control, the real power lies in the code and the developers who wrote it. You might see your balance rising, but if the smart contract has a hidden function that lets the devs drain liquidity, that control evaporates in seconds. Remember the FinTalk scam in 2023? They claimed blockchain transparency, but $31 million disappeared overnight. Investors saw the signs too late because they believed the interface, not the infrastructure. Social media amplifies this illusion. Crypto Twitter threads, Telegram groups, and influencer hype all create a sense of belonging. Everyone's making money, so I should too. That emotional rush, the blend of greed, fear, and FOMO, overrides logic. You don't think, you act, because you believe you won't be the one left holding the bag. Psychologically, it's brilliant manipulation. You're not just tricked into trusting someone, you're tricked into trusting yourself. And that's why rug pulls sting harder. You don't just lose money, you lose confidence in your own judgment. So, how do you break free from that illusion? How do you protect yourself before clicking invest?
Now that we've seen how easily DeFi rug pulls can deceive even the smartest investors, it's time for a reality check, how to protect yourself. Because prevention in crypto isn't about luck, it's about structure. Let's break it down, step by step. Verified audit. Think of an audit as a security check before you move in. Independent developers examine the project's code line by line, searching for hidden traps or backdoors. If a project skips this step or fakes an audit badge, that's your first red flag. Ask yourself, would you trust a bridge that's never been tested? Multi-sig control. Multi-sig means multiple signatures are required to move funds. It's like needing several keys to open a vault. No single developer can vanish with the money overnight. Projects like Uniswap and Aave use this system for safety. If one wallet controls everything, run. Time lock contracts. These introduce a delay between a developer's action and its execution, giving the community time to react if something suspicious happens. Imagine it as a digital "Are you sure?" button before withdrawal. Transparent team identity. Real teams don't hide behind anime avatars. When a project's founders are public, accountable, and consistent across platforms, it builds confidence. Look at projects like Chainlink or Polygon. You can trace their teams and updates. Transparency is the enemy of scams. Active community presence. A silent community is a warning sign. Legitimate projects have active Discords, AMAs, and developers who actually answer questions. Scams go quiet right before they disappear. These aren't just technical checks, they're psychological anchors. They remind you to slow down, question the hype, and verify before you invest. Because in DeFi, security isn't just code, it's culture. But let's be honest, even with all these precautions, there's one last layer that no checklist can protect you from: yourself. In DeFi, the line between victim and volunteer is thin. The blockchain doesn't lie, it just records our choices. Maybe the real rug pull isn't in the code, it's in our conviction. So the next time you invest, ask yourself, are you building wealth or pulling your own rug?